Welcome to Com Speaks, a podcast series produced by the Tarleton State University Department of Communication Studies. On today's episode, we celebrate the department's 15th anniversary. You'll hear about what was, what is, and what will be concerning communication studies at Tarleton State, as faculty, friends, and students celebrate our 15-year journey of excellence. From our studios in Stephenville, Texas, here's your host, Dr. Chris Gearhart.
Welcome to our program celebrating 15 years of the Department of Communication Studies at Tarleton State University. I'm Chris Gearhart, Associate Professor and Department Head of Communication Studies. I'm really pleased to introduce our guest today, Dr. James Hurley, 16th President of Tarleton State. Welcome to our program, Dr. Hurley.
Thanks for having me, and what an exciting time to be here, 15 years, and you've heard me say many times, what a fascinating facility we have to be able to sit here in this ready-made teaching lab that you all utilize for our students. It's really incredible.
We're really lucky. Our students really have special opportunities here because of the resources of facilities that we have acquired over the years here at Tarleton State.
It's fascinating. I shared the story I want to share with our listeners. When I made my first tour of the facilities here at Tarleton State, this was one of the first buildings they brought me to and kind of patterned from the administration building, and this was one of the facilities I remember visiting. And I was just really blown away at the teaching and learning opportunities in this studio alone that are provided to our future Texans.
Yes, sir. We're really excited to have it, and we appreciated you on that visit and this visit today. So before we get into the history and the future of communication studies, let's talk a little bit about what you have going on this week. Tomorrow, October 6th, is your State of the University address. I imagine it's going to be much easier, or at least more fun, to give this address when there's so many positives that are going around at Tarleton. Faculty have received merit raises. We're seeing growth in our student body and our facilities. We've got a new strategic plan, Tarleton Forward 2030. You mind giving us a little preview of that address at all?
Yeah, I agree. I will be hopefully more relaxed, right? It's the first State of the University address I gave in 2019 was really a recap of what had occurred before my tenure and what occurred in the 18-19 academic year. Of course, last year we had a lot of positives to celebrate because we had tremendous growth during the pandemic. But then certainly during the last 12 months, we've had so much excitement and momentum and growth. So a lot of, as you know, State of the Universities are a recap. It's to regurgitate the information that a lot of folks may have missed. It's to certify numbers and those types of things, enrollment. I believe in transparency, and so displaying the budget is really important. I want to show, what are the revenues, what are our expenses, and let folks know, hey, this is how much the university personnel cost truly might be in this upcoming fiscal year. Also to talk about the successes of our faculty and the successes of our staff. And I want to thank you. I want to thank the faculty for really working so well together, rolling up their sleeves and figuring out a way to navigate this pandemic. And we are still in the midst of it. I think we're more on the other end, right? We're getting out of the pandemic. We hope so. The variants obviously caused a kind of a reoccurrence of, here we go again. But without the leadership of our faculty and the support of our staff, our students would not have been able to succeed like they did. So I'm thankful for all of you.
And I think that your office did a really good job at creating a very safe and healthy environment for our campus, for our faculty, and for our students, that we haven't seen large numbers of students getting sick or faculty getting sick. We have some like everybody does, but you've really done a good job, the university has, at protecting everybody in this uncertain time.
Well, I appreciate that, and we tried really hard. We tried to navigate. Of course, we're a state-supported institution, and so the governor's orders are the governor's orders. Very little latitude in terms of what you could and couldn't do, but I feel like for the most part, our institution tried really hard to keep everyone safe, but yet provide an experience that our college students expect to experience, expect to have, right? And parents want us to be able to put bumps in the road for their students, their children, our students to navigate. Mm-hmm. And that's part of college, being able to navigate bumps in the road. And if you can't do that, if you're a student that came to Tarleton expecting to have a face-to-face experience and then all of a sudden it was shifted to online, that creates a very different dynamic. So we were thankful that we were able to navigate as successfully. We're one of the fastest growing, I know we'll talk about this later, but we're among the top 10 fastest growing public regional universities in the country. I think we're 8th, according to Dr. Javier Garza last week. And so you'll hear that tomorrow. We're excited about that number. But again, it goes back, I attribute the success of our team effort. Did we do everything perfect? Absolutely not. As department chair and as president, no one left us a COVID-19 manual
yes, sir.
to work from, right? So we didn't have this to learn from in previous leadership experiences or occurrences, and so we had to create this new normal on the fly. I often refer to the analogy: we were building the plane and flying the plane all in the same sense. Mm-hmm. But together we did it, and I'm really proud of all stakeholders that had a part in making this year successful.
And I'm looking forward to putting the high flex to the past, to putting the COVID to the past, and kind of thinking about the past. I wanted to kind of reflect on the progression of our department over the last 15 years. So originally, we were a degree plan called Speech that was in the Fine Arts Department. Then around 2006, we became an independent department of Communication Studies that was started by Dr. Charles Howard. Around that same time, we moved from the Fine Arts building and we moved to our faculty spaces to Davis Hall, along with the office spaces for the College of Liberal and Fine Arts and the Dean's office there. We were there for about a decade until we moved into these new facilities here in 2016. So now on the 3rd floor of the OA Grant building, we have our own wing over here with our faculty office spaces and our learning spaces like the newsroom, like the broadcast studio, and like the Prim Lab. Davis Hall, as part of progress, was raised in 2019, and I have proof. I still have brick that I keep in my office from when they took down the
I want to see this. This is fascinating.
It's pretty neat to have a little piece of history.
You really do. Wow, that's incredible. So you really raised the brick.
Yes, sir. So we now offer 5 distinct concentrations. We have concentrations in journalism and broadcasting, in sports communication, in travel, event, and activity management, public relations and social engagement, and professional and relational communication. Last year was an exciting time. We had our largest ever graduating year where we had 92 students graduate throughout our different programs and campuses. We peaked to an enrollment high of 282 students back in 2019 and 2020, but we kind of dipped because we did have that large graduating class. What really makes our department unique is that when it was started by Dr. Howard, we were really clear in what our mission was, and we really had a strong mission statement and a clear focus of how we wanted our students to achieve their education. And this focus was on real-world learning experiences and a hands-on education. And we thought that a primary vehicle for this real-world learning is through internships. And so we offer in-department internships like the Texan News Service, where we're training our young journalists. We have our legendary weddings and events where we're working with the hospitality industry. And then we're doing interdepartmental collaborations with athletics for our Tarleton Sports Internship. All of these that are providing real-world learning experiences for our students. In our upper level and capstone classes, students are doing project-based learning, where they are working with real-world clients and producing real-world deliverables and events. And a benefit about this type of learning model, this hands-on education, is that it saves on some of the hidden costs associated with college. So many of the courses at the upper level don't have textbooks, or making use of open education resources to really save on some of those costs with college, which is one of the initiatives of Dr. Howard. You've supported our internships. You came to our donor dinner at the Rough Creek Lodge to help gain support for those students who have to take on unpaid internships. So you're a big supporter of our department and of the internships. What are your thoughts just in general on internships and other avenues for learning that are outside of the classroom experience?
Yeah, before I answer that, I want to thank Dr. Howard for his leadership, for his perseverance. I mean, 15 years, I've been doing this a long time, well over 20 years, and I've seen academic programs come and go, and some are very successful and they get quick jolts and then they're off to the races, so to speak. In a program like communication studies, and when you look at journalism and some of the smaller programs, it's important that you stay the course, right? And it's important that you stick to that foundational vision and mission. And that's something that Dr. Howard and yourself and others that have came through as faculty members and staff members that have supported this program. So it is important that that we allow faculty and we allow department chairs and department heads and deans to really get out there and be creative, right? I mean, that academic entrepreneurship, if you will, is really, really important for an institution like Tarleton to serve the comprehensive regional needs. So I want to commend and thank Dr. Howard for the last 15 years, the leadership and the vision to be where we are today, right? I mean, you and I would not have this conversation. I am a big proponent and a big fan of internships because you have a global market that is driven on experiences captured beyond the classroom. I mean, we're now seeing for a bit, remember when we heard that MOOCs were going to, the massive online courses, we're going to put institutions like Tarleton out of business. Mm-hmm. Well, that didn't really pan out. And now we're facing this portfolio of credentials earned through companies like Google mm-hmm. and Microsoft and Amazon. They're all creating their own learning labs, their own learning spaces, their own learning credentials. Mm-hmm. And some accreditation agencies across the country are actually certifying these. So now it's more important than ever for students to capture internships, externships, GA positions, right? And when I speak of graduate assistants, I'm not just talking athletics, I'm talking academics as well. Those experiences are really, really important for young people to succeed. And so I'm a big proponent. I believe this is an incredible program. I think that it provides those real world training experiences and teaching and learning experiences that students need to be prepared for when they enter upon the job market. And that's important because we know this job market and this marketplace is extremely competitive. So I'm a big proponent of that. I love the event at Rough Creek last year, and it was my first event because it displayed to me just how many faculty members were involved in helping the community meet their needs. Because Rough Creek, like many entities in this region, could not survive from a workforce standpoint alone without Tarleton, mm-hmm. without faculty members, without staff, but more importantly, students mm-hmm. and those internships. And now, I mean, it's really difficult for you to land an entry position without an internship, without some type of resumental experience that separates you from the other 250 applicants, right, that institutions are commencing. So I'm a big supporter of these internship programs, and I think what you're doing with your students here is incredible. And I think more of our programs should mimic what you're doing because it's clearly working. A lot of your graduates leave your program job ready, and then secondly, they land jobs pretty quickly. That gainful employment's really important. That's why we're here, to provide experiences, but also to provide gainful employment opportunities once they commence.
Yes, sir. That's what our focus is to that students are building that resume, they're building that portfolio, so even before they've graduated, they could go on the job market, they can separate themselves from the 200 other students that just have, a degree, and they can say, look, this is what I've done at internships and in my college program at Tarleton, this is what I can come do for your organization and take it to the next level.
Because they all have the same degree.
Yes, sir.
They're all learning from the Charlie Howards of the world. the Dr. Gearhart's other one, right? So what gives that level of separation? That's what's really important for our students. And I think that's what we do here at Tarleton State really well. I think that we provide those experiential learning. Obviously, you've seen since my arrival, we've wanted to focus on research. Mm-hmm. And I think that research at a comprehensive university, regional university, it has to be tabled and it has to be balanced with, first and foremost, the teaching and learning component is core. Then there are research opportunities, but that's a little different than experiential learning opportunities. And we should balance the two. I think that's really important.
Yes, sir. And you kind of noted this when you talked about the importance of the faculty, and that's really a really key piece of our department is just the faculty that we have now. So looking back, when we started and became independent, we had 7 full-time faculty members. Now we have 15, and we have a number of different adjuncts in addition to that. We have 3 faculty members that have over 25 years of experience at Tarleton. So it just shows their dedication to the university and to the program. We have 10 different current faculty members who have won more than a dozen awards from the college, for the university, from the system, awards in all areas of service, research, and teaching. So we have a really successful faculty. The department's had 3 different department heads over the 15 years, 2 different administrative associates. So our people, they stick around for a while.
Right.
We have a faculty and staff that are highly cohesive. They're super productive and have a lot of accomplishments. They're a collaborative group of people who they get along well, actually. We do get along well.
Right.
We support one another.
You would hope so in communication. Well, you communicate with one another.
Right. As the cobbler's son has no shoes, the mechanic's car is always broken, right? That's my wife, the communicator who can't communicate.
No, it's great.
No, I'm just joking. But no, the faculty really do foster a real positive working climate for our students and our staff and each other. So how important do you think having high quality faculty is to the success of Tarleton State?
Yeah, it's critical. I mean, the faculty are the backbone of the institution, of any institution. It's important. You know, I started off as a faculty member, and I will someday finish my career as a faculty member, I hope.
What were you teaching?
I was in business. So
Okay.
I taught business management, accounting. Of course, my background's heavy in finance,
Yes,
and was able to teach a lot of finance courses. And of course, as you know, you started off at the bottom of the totem pole as well. You teach those introduction classes. You teach the classes that Charlie Howard doesn't want to teach.
Right.
And you're that junior faculty member, and you earn your way. And I really enjoyed, I miss the classroom. I miss, that is a component that I miss. But faculty, they are essential in being able to prepare our students beyond that classroom, right? Because we know the faculty member during the course of a semester spends more time with the faculty member than they do their own parents, because especially for those traditional students that are away from mom and dad, living in dorms, etc. But the opportunity to network with the faculty members' office hours, you know, think about how many countless mentoring hours you've had with your students. Those are so important, and more important than ever today, because again, you're trying to create a degree of separation, because like you alluded to, they're competing against 200 to 250 graduates with the same degree. It's that intellect that faculty members instill into our students, and that our students are able to extract from the faculty that give them that advantage and give them the opportunity to create separation in the interview and being able to land a job, or moving up their own chain once they're in, right? I mean, that's that social mobility, that upward trajectory in their careers are important. Many times, my best friend today, Dr. David Barnett, was my dissertation chair, taught many of my finance courses. I gravitated toward him obviously because of finance. That's my passion, that's my love. And today he and I, we stay connected. In fact, a month and a half to 2 months ago, he flew in from Kentucky here and spent a couple of days with me just to check out the campus.
Very cool.
To just bounce some ideas off each other. those are faculty members, and the relationships with students are forever. So they're essential. That's why it's so important to me. And everywhere I've been, I've tried to invest in human capital. You've heard me use that term. Some faculty and staff don't necessarily know what that human capital means, and some would rather me use another word. Right. But it's truly investing in the people that make the difference. That's our faculty and staff. That's why I'm always focused on trying to enhance their quality of life, because so many times you hear alumni talk about the relationship they had with a faculty member, with a staff member, and then of course if they were in some type of club or organization, their coach or trainer or something like that. So those three areas are critical.
And our faculty were a little bit, some of them expressed their concerns whenever there was a move to go to a university-wide academic advising. That they really appreciate having that opportunity one-on-one with the student to get to know their strengths, to get to know their weaknesses, and to get to know their careers. And so they came to me and they said, can we please still advise? Can we please? I said, yes, you certainly can. If it's maybe not advising classes, but you're advising in a mentorship role, you're helping them in a career guidance type of role, then please do. Don't be afraid to reach out and bring the students in and have those conversations and get to know them really well so that you can help them to achieve what they want to. And I think that connection is crucial, and it's something that's unique and special to Tarleton.
It really is. And I think now the model, and we've been obviously, some things have worked well and some things have not worked well. We're rolling that model back where we're creating the centralized advising for the freshmen in particular, more intrusive advising. But what we've got to do is make sure that once they're prepared and we feel like they're on their pathway and they know their communication studies, then we get them with that faculty advisor for that at least junior, senior year. If preferably sophomore if possible. We have a high volume of transfer students every year, as you know, because we're dependent upon TCC and MCC and some of our partners. Getting that transfer student that they already know their path. I 100% agree with you. I think having that faculty mentoring, faculty advising is essential for their success. And so that's why we're kind of rethinking, re-envisioning what this looks like moving forward. So yeah, I can't agree more. I think that the advising piece is essential in maintaining those connections.
Well, we'll just kind of wrap up by looking towards the future for the next 15 years. So I think we have two of our newest programs that are really going to support some of the initiatives that we have in the Tarleton Forward 2030 plan. The first one is our travel, event, and activity management that's really focused on the hospitality and travel and tourism industry. We hear a lot of rumors and rumblings about their Stephenville community is going to build an event or convention center, or that we might have a new convocation center here at the university that would have some event spaces and events, or possibly we've heard rumors about a new local hotel that would serve the community. And these would really be great opportunities for internships for these students.
Absolutely.
For them to do projects at these hopeful eventual events locations that our students would graduate and they would go into management and executive roles in these businesses. So I think that the Stephenville community could really use a boost in our forward-facing travel, event, and activity management, and our hospitality. If we could get some more visitors here, generate some more revenue for the community and the economy, that would be a good thing for everybody involved. And so we're looking to support that. And then we're looking to our sports communication program, that it's a really exciting time in sports. We've moved to Division I athletics, and now we've got a large amount of sports media needs that we hope our sports communication students can help fill. So we have our Tarleton Sports Internship Program that's in partnership with the Division of Athletics. We're really proud that we had our first ever wholly Tarleton produced and broadcasted ENPS Plus stream of our first home football game.
Oh, wow. I didn't know, yeah.
We did all of that
Incredible.
In-house.
And I've had no complaints.
Hey, there you go.
And I usually hear them, so that was incredible. But can I go back, because you will not do this, but I think it's important, and I know we're running out of time, but modestly, you're not going to say the things that need to be said. and I appreciate that about you. But our internship program that you helped establish with athletics is a model in the WAC that a lot of other presidents and ADs have taken note of. They see I call them the army, and that's not the right term, but the army of interns that you put out that helps that assists in the athletic production. Our athletic department could not survive. I know Nate Burrell is incredible, and your partnership with him really shows what working together as a university can accomplish. And I want to thank you. I want to thank you publicly. It means a lot. And to see some of the growth of those students, the interns, and where they start and where they're finished, and some of the products that they produce are incredible. It's as good as any mid-major Division I program in the nation, not just in our conference, but in the country. And I'm really thankful for you, your leadership, and your cooperation with athletics. And so I think that folks need to know that those students that are interested, this is a great place to be. Tarleton and your program and that cooperative program with athletics, that's an incredible springboard of just a plethora of opportunities for these young kids.
It really is, and I do want to give a shout out to Brian Martin. Brian Martin is in our sports communication internship program, and he has just really done a great job. He's traveled all over the country doing sports broadcasts because of what he's done here. I also want to acknowledge credit where credit's due. Then Dean Kelly Styron had this vision for sports communication that she shared with me, and so I've been working in partnership with her as well.
Great.
And I do want to just kind of throw a little punch here. You know, SFA was supposed to do broadcast on ESPN Plus of our first football game, and they didn't get it up and running. So
I was on the road. I was we had a donor visit, and I was out of the area, and I had to watch it. I thought I was going to be able to watch it, and I wasn't. I text their AD. I've got a great friendship with Ryan Ivey, and I text Ryan. I said, "Hey, we can't watch what's going on here." And so again, a very commendable effort and partnership on your end. But all those other partnerships that you talked about are so important. I want to thank you for your leadership and really giving these students an opportunity to succeed. Let me demyth some of or debunk some of the myths.
Okay.
We are 100% going to give it our best effort to build a new convocation center. In fact, the request for proposals, I think, either hit the street Friday or it hits the street this Friday. I'm not sure on which Friday, but that will be released. So we are moving forward. So you're exactly right. More internships. We have worked really, really closely with the city and the mayor and the city council, who they've been incredible to work with since my arrival. And I can't speak before because I wasn't here. But we are working very hard and diligently to build some type of hotel that's much needed to meet the Division I standards, but also to meet the needs of the region. Think about how many times we can't, lock in a room for visitors. So we are working very hard. That will be more of a partnership. Clearly, we can't build that as an institution, but we can certainly partner with private investors or the city or folks that would be willing to cooperate. And again, it goes back to, I love the thought that you're thinking ahead with partnerships and internships for these students.
Yes, sir. Just kind of one last little question to you. You know, all that's really excited. I'm excited to see that coming forward and that news. Just what role do you see communication studies as having in the future of the university for the next 15 years?
Well, I love the vision. I love what you've talked about thus far. I mean, just remain student-centric, and I want you to be thinking about, back to that academic innovation. What are some degree programs that we're not offering that we could offer, that you could offer? Those internships, I think the hospitality management is essential. Someone needs to be thinking about the development thereof. I think I've heard we had it once before. It kind of drifted away, and I don't know where we are exactly with, is it still on the academic register or not? We need to figure that piece out, because there's a tremendous need with just like the lodge that we alluded to, and now these venues coming on into the fold. So I think being entrepreneurial, thinking about opportunities, and then in your area with communication studies, where does this new media take us in the next 5, 10, 15 years? And being ahead of that curve. So I think that's going to be really exciting to watch.
Yes, sir. It certainly is exciting, and I know you're a busy man, so I just want to thank you for your time today and for your insights about the future. So we really appreciate having you, President Hurley. We're excited about the next 15 years for the Department of Communication Studies and the role that we're going to play in the continued growth of the university. Thank you to our audience for tuning in today and helping to reflect on the history and look at kind of where this is heading in the future. Be sure that you check us out on the internet and our social media to follow along with the amazing experiences and accomplishments of our faculty, staff, and students. And let's give them a calm rocks.
We're old Texans.
For more information about our podcast series or the Department of Communication Studies at Tarleton, visit us online at tarleton.edu/communications or find us on social media by searching for Tarleton Comms Department.